I don't want to set the world on fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the BOOM. Of course, I am your host, as always, Cam G. Introducing my co-host at this time. Of course, the man to the right of me is the man known as Phil Kahn. Of course, at the bottom of your screen, that is the man of the ones and twos, my co-host / producer, Metalcore Mike. Gentlemen, we are joined here once again for another Wednesday, well, this time Thursday night, to discuss AEW Dynamite from last night. That was 3 hours combined with Collision, which is why we moved the show to Thursday night. And of course, our predictions for this Saturday, which is Full Gear. But before I get into all that, gentlemen, how are we doing on this Thursday evening?
There's a good game on tonight, Bills and the Texans. I'm excited for it. This is going to be a good one. I can't wait. I'm all right. It's Thursday. I mean, I watching Dynamite today, saving to watch Dynamite today opposed to watching it last night because you're able to get through the commercial breaks. I'm going to say this right now. They were coming off such a hot blood and guts last week. Like everything about last week was perfect. Perfect. And this week is the go-home show, and it feels like they made a complete 360. In my eyes, I feel like they made a complete 360 with this show. I know we're going to run down the show. We're going to talk about it and everything like that, Cam, but I just can't hold this in to the fact that they did not make this feel like a go-home show at all. And I say this a lot. They made last night's show feel like a glorified live event. They did. They made last night's show feel like a glorified live event. Television cameras, a big crowd, the lights, the cameras, the pyro, and all that fun stuff. But then a lot of matches, and half of the talent we're going to see that was in the ring together last night. Well, some of the talent that we seen in the ring together last night was in the ring, is going to be in the ring on Saturday. Sense does that make?
I mean, I'll give you one thing. I'm not going to go as far as to say last week was perfect. I think most of what they gave us was a beautiful car wreck, which we can expect that from Blood and Guts matches. We got 2 of them instead of 1 this year. That I've been waiting for that since the summer. So, I'm pretty much satisfied with it. Overall as a complete show, I won't say it was perfect. There's a lot of it outside of the Blood and Guts that I really didn't care for. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they put a lot of their effort into those 2 matches for the men and the women's Blood and Guts matches. And then this week it was just kind of, for me, it just felt very rushed, the segments that we did get. And I feel like they did that to, again, to tie up loose ends or to inject a little bit of hype into some of these matches that we're going to see. But again, it just screams a lack of planning, a lack of storytelling, leading up to Full Gear. And it's most of it I don't care about. I mean, there's maybe 4 matches on this card that I really care about, and then after that, it just kind of falls off a cliff. And it's like, I really don't care about these matches because they're out of thin air, and you're scrambling to put these together a week before or week of the event. So it's just like I don't care for a third of that card or half of that card. So, but Phil, your thoughts? I mean, how was your Thursday evening and your thoughts on Dynamite last night?
Thursday is good. I am actually looking forward to that game, like Mike said. But in terms of wrestling and everything like that, to me, this show was just to get through it, so we can get to Full Gear. I think, well, when it comes down to the overall 3-hour product that AEW does tend to do now, when it comes down to their pay-per-views being on Saturdays, if it ever falls down to that, the last hour. The Collision hour that they do is pointless to me. I don't care for it. Not much really happens there. And if anything, it's just not interesting to me. The most important things that happen on the show in terms of the 3-hour product that they do from time to time is the first 2. And even that at times doesn't realistically hit the way that it should, especially because this was a go home show for a pay-per-view that you should put priority towards. At the end of the day, we saw some things kind of progress, but I mean, there's not much you can realistically do to kind of further things along at this point. You're kind of already exacerbated everything that you could have possibly done to get to where we need to be now. And now we're just here to get the full gear. And I know what you're smiling and laughing at. So I'll just say it again. You're giving me that smile again. So not a word that I said.
What? I can't fucking smile? Like, my God.
That's all I'm gonna say. But you know what? It's fine for what it is. We'll talk about it.
I'm gonna say one thing before we get into the show. Last night, like you said, Phil, they kind of progressed and they got through to get us to Saturday, right? And the third hour portion of last night's show was Collision, a show that we know people do not watch. And if people watch Collision, good on you. I give you guys, whoever watches Collision, I give you all the credit in the world. Because if you can get through a 2-hour Dynamite and then wait until Friday or Saturday or whatever day they put Collision on to watch Collision, that extra hour that sometimes means absolutely nothing. Because like last night, Cam messaged me and said, hey, look, it's a 3-hour show tonight. Let's, we'll do the boom tomorrow night. Okay, cool. But what are they going to do on Collision to add on to what they're giving us on Saturday? And if they add any matches on, what importance is the matches going to be? And I felt like they were going to be pre-show matches, which they did. They added some pre-show matches on.
They did.
They added some zero, but they also added main card matches, right? But also with getting us to Saturday, there was certain points in last night's show where they kind of told me where their main focus is. And I feel like, and when we get to those points, I'm going to point it out because you know me, I like to point shit out. Made me feel like they already told us who's going to win what matches and how things are going to go down. There's one in particular that I feel like they did that with last night. And when we get to that point, I'm going to point it out because I never rewind and watch something 2-3 times when it comes to Dynamite. I just let it play through. Last night, there was a segment that happened that I rewound and listened to 3 times. And I was like, thanks for telling me what you guys are doing. Thank you. And now I can almost guarantee they're going to do what I'm thinking. And I hate doing that. I hate pointing that shit out because I don't mind spoilers at times. Like, I don't mind getting spoiled at times. There's some things that I don't mind getting spoiled for certain things, but there's things where there's times where I don't like spoilers as well. So I dropped my pen.
Are we talking about the Collision portion or just the 2 hours?
Just Dynamite.
Okay.
So gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to get into AEW Dynamite. Of course, we open the show as we usually do. Excalibur is running down and previewing the show. Our first match we got was Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet for the number 1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet at Full Gear. I don't know who the heck wants the number 1 spot. That seems stupid to me, but whatever. Because, I mean, if you think about it in the other company, when they're doing the Rumble, I don't know if you guys remember back when, I mean, Mike, I know you definitely remember. Phil, I don't know if you remember. But back when they used to have the gimmicked raffle, I guess you could say.
The tumbler.
Yeah, the tumbler of wrestlers picking the numbers and stuff.
I love that they're doing that with the Cena tournament.
The number 1 spot though was always the spot that you didn't want.
This matters though.
Why in this company? Why do you want the
number 1 spot?
Because it's the gauntlet. It's not it's not like an over the top rope battle royal. It's a gauntlet. First pinfall and submission wins. So if the number 1 guy gets a pinfall or submission, they win the match, and nobody else comes in. It's whoever scores that first pinfall or submission.
How many people are in this
one
match?
pinfall and that's it.
I think it's 21.
It's 21 because
That's
the casino
insane to me.
21 blackjack type deal. Yeah,
They never get to 21 though. They're lucky if they get past 15. The top, I think the highest number they ever got to was 13.
I think so. Yeah, I think that number's right. Yeah,
it's just kind of weird to me, but I don't know. That's just me.
and 21 is supposedly a joker, and it never happens. So
probably because they don't have an actual joker. They just say that just in case they get to 21, which they don't. So
or they do have a joker that just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't ever get to it.
It could just be a disappointing, entrant, and they just don't get to it because they don't think anybody's going to care about it. So I don't know. But overall, I mean, this match was a waste of my time. The first 10, 15 minutes of this match was just Ricochet rambling about how he's going to win the match, and MVP's old and senile, and he misspoke and called the national championship the international championship at one point. Yeah, at this point, Ricochet just loves hearing himself talk. That's mainly what this is. If you blink, if you got up for a single second during the course of this match, you would have come back, and Bobby Lashley would have already speared Ricochet into oblivion. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley gets the number 1 entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match at Full Gear. Like I said, I didn't really care for this match. It was there, and then it wasn't. So
you knew who was winning right from the word go.
Yeah, I didn't really see Ricochet beating Bobby Lashley. I really didn't. I mean, again, we're still going with this feud with the Demand and the Hurt Syndicate. I don't see what else there is to do with this feud. I just don't.
Ricochet gets some bass in his voice.
That's never gonna happen. But.
I'm tired. I'm
tired. Drop or something.
I told you, puberty just skipped his vocal cords entirely. So
it never showed up.
It just took a vacation, and just never came back.
Never.
So, let me get you guys' thoughts on this opening match: Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet for the number 1 entry in the Casino Gauntlet match at Full Gear.
I mean, I'm like you. I didn't care about this match. I mean, it was a foregone conclusion of who's going to win this match. If Ricochet, let me put it this way: if they would have had Ricochet win, then I would have been sitting here tonight saying Ricochet better win this fucking gauntlet. If he's going out and beating Bobby Lashley in a singles match for the number 1 spot, then he better win the gauntlet and become the first national champion. That's that. There was no way he was beating Bobby Lashley. So, I mean, it's kind of one thing I will say. I like the fact that 2 years ago he made his debut in AEW, and he hasn't even sniffed around the world championship. Nope. Which a lot of people thought he was going to do. A lot of people thought he was going to be around the world title picture right away coming in because of the star that he is. Former, 2-time WWE champion?
Yep.
Why not? Right? But no, he was one of the very few that come in from WWE and did not sniff around the world title yet. So I like the way they're doing this with Bobby Lashley because I think eventually we'll get him there at some point, maybe in the next year or so. But right now, it's like they're building that ladder up for him, and I like that. And I would love to see Bobby Lashley. Spoiler, Bobby Lashley is my pick to win the gauntlet. I want to see him win the national championship. I do. I would love to see him be the first national champion in AEW. So he's my pick for the gauntlet match.
Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, I did not care. I was honestly fighting back emotions, trying to just get through this thing because at the end of the day, like it just does not matter to me. I mean, Bobby Lashley was winning right from the entrance, and kind of like flowing right now. Even if it is kind of like in this singles capacity or whatever they're trying to do with him, it's literally a crime to me, like crime in my eyes, that the guy has not even sniffed the world title opportunity yet in this company. I think he's so goddamn good at what he does, and he'll get there. They're obviously building towards that, like I said, and I'm fine with that. But I think there's definitely something a lot more that Bobby right in the hands of Bobby. So we'll see if that actually happens. But this match just really did not care for me. to see, and Bobby won. There you go.
I think we had we went backstage. We had Samojo and Katsuyori Shibata. They were addressing obviously Hangman and Page, hyping the match for Shibata and Hangman and Page.
Damn it!
Turn it down. Turn it down.
As I was saying,
fucking live here. Let's go.
Samoa
Get your
Joe
shit together, Phil.
We're good.
Shibata backstage.
Fucking hell.
I honestly enjoyed this particular promo from Samoa Joe. Not necessarily his best, but he says Hangman and Page's world of happiness is going to look very different. It says Shibata is going to begin the payment tonight, and then of course he's coming to collect in full at Full Gear. I like that. I like how he kind of put that together as well. No idea what the heck Shibata said, but great. I mean, cool. Whatever you said, Shibata, it added on to whatever Samoa Joe was saying. Fantastic. But this was okay. This was an okay promo. Against Samoa Joe, again, he has this ability to get you invested in, certain storylines, certain feuds that you may not care about. But that's just how good Samoa Joe is. I think that's really what that's a testament to. If you guys have any thoughts on this backstage with Shibata and Samoa Joe, please. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
I mean, Samoa Joe makes anything kind of feel important at the end of the day, and that's what he's always kind of been able to do. The guy's a great speaker, but I mean, we've done everything that we could possibly do with the world title match in terms of the build, so kind of just got to get to it. But other than that, I mean, Samoa Joe, he's incredible, so kind of feel important with that, especially with this mic work.
Mike?
No, I agree with you. Samoa Joe can make something feel important, even if it's not here. I agree with you. Samoa Joe can make anything and everything feel important with his mic work because of the fact of the work that he does. And this is exactly what I said a couple weeks ago, going back to his WWE days when he took on Brock Lesnar, Great Balls of Fire. Like, you knew Samoa Joe wasn't winning that match, but he damn near made you feel that there was a chance he might do it. He made you feel that. Fast forward to today, it's like, all right, is Hangman really going to drop the belt to him on Saturday? Maybe. They might pull that trigger. Who knows? We just got done with 2 steel cage matches last week. Now we're going to have another one on Saturday, 3 within 10 days. Who cares about that? Probably nobody, but Samoa Joe, he'll make you care about it. Why? Because of the mic work that he does. So he does a great job. I mean, hats off to him. I'll say this. I love the ops. I love the group. I love the dynamic of the group. But part of me feels like we are going to get this group split sooner or later with Samoa Joe being on his own again. Something's telling me. I got this feeling.
A split with the group?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably. I could see it down the line. They might start planting the seeds for that. I could definitely see it. Next, we then had Renee with the Young Bucks. Before they could answer, obviously, the big question that everybody has been asking, or that's on everybody's minds, we had Don Callis himself interrupt and said, "We don't need any gotcha journalism from Renee tonight. We need you guys to go out there and prove why you guys are the greatest tag team ever." And he steals Renee's mic off camera. You hear Renee yell at him for stealing the mic as he obnoxiously, loudly introduces the Young Bucks. They come through. They got pyro now because, well, as we all know, the whole broke Bucks thing, and they're not getting pyro, and they're not getting entrance music, not getting their proper names, has been this running gag, this tired running gag, I will say, for the last couple of weeks and the past month or so that they've been going, and so they've been having to have money matches and things like that because they need money and they gotta pay off the debt that they have and all this other stuff. But the bigger picture here, the bigger story here, besides them, going with this running gag or whatever, is them reforming the Elite with one Kenny Omega, and I think a lot of people are more interested in that than any money match or them gambling or anything like that, because that's secondary. It's about the more important story that's actually going to get you invested and keep you watching and wanting you to come back, Wednesday after Wednesday after Wednesday to watch Dynamite to see how this unfolds. So that is the more important picture here, not them wrestling in money matches and stuff like that. So the next match we got obviously was a 6-man tag match: the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander versus Top Flight and Scorpio Sky. I had to literally squint at my screen to make sure I was seeing who I thought I was seeing in Scorpio Sky, because I felt like, holy flashback, Batman. Is this 2019 or 2025? Because I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen Scorpio Sky on my screen. Crazy to see Scorpio Sky in an AEW ring in 2025, because they've done absolutely zero with this man. And it's a shame, because
he's so good too.
Scorpio Sky.
He's so good.
He's so good, and they have done nothing with him. It's insane to me. Again, this is another match that really just is getting us to the bigger picture of the Elite reforming. Are the Bucks going to join the Don Callis family? Probably not. I think a lot of us probably already know that. But that's really the bigger picture here. So the match was the match. Wasn't really important. Again, we're looking at the bigger picture here. After the match, of course, Don Callis wants an answer from the Young Bucks, as we all do. They didn't even answer before Kenny Omega storms to the ring, takes out Don Callis' family. The Bucks get involved, distracting Omega, and then, of course, Josh Alexander then blindsides Kenny Omega, and then Jurassic Express comes out, sending the Don Callis family running. And as you see the looks on Matt and Nick's faces, they just look so detached, so as if like they're peer pressured into being a part of Josh Alexander and the rest of the Don Callis family. They look like they want no parts of the Don Callis family or anything involved with any of their evil doings, if you will, on AEW Dynamite television right now. So again, it's all about the body language, it's all about the facial expressions that I think is really driving home this story. So something is brewing, and I think we're going to get that answer, but not with words. I think we're going to physically see the Bucks give their answer to the Don Callis family at Full Gear. So I'm looking forward to that. And again, like I said, the $1 million on the line, again, that's secondary. That's not even important as to this particular story. So I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this match, and of course what happened after the match, and just your thoughts on just the overall story in general. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
So first of all, I have to say, great seeing Scorpio Sky back on Dynamite again. Probably not going to be a regular thing, but it was really cool to see him because, like you said, Cam, the guy is absolutely fantastic, and he honestly deserves a lot more than what he's kind of given right now. And the pairing that he's doing right now with Top Flight, I like it. I do. I like that trio. I've heard that they've just been relegated. Not shock me. But regardless, the match was fine for what it was, and I like seeing Josh Alexander on Dynamite too. I just want to see that guy wrestle. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know what it is. Josh Alexander is absolutely fantastic, but he's a part of the 95 members of the Don Callis family, like so it's kind of hard for him to get out there. But the stuff that him and the Bucks did in this thing in terms of just, kind of like their iffiness with each other because they don't really know like what the Bucks are going to do. I like that. And overall, I thought the match was done very well. The aftermath of everything, honestly, I thought that was really well done too, because that come Full Gear time, the Bucks are going to have their answer, and whether it's going to be in a physical type of way, or they just say absolutely not, and then they nail him with the BTE trigger afterwards and form with Kenny Omega once again. It's going to be something big, and it's going to be something really good for New Jersey to see. And the $1 million thing, the money is not important. They'd find much better ways to try to make $1 million rather than join the Don Callis family. And I think that's ultimately what's going to be kind of the point there to drive it home, and then be back with Kenny. and everything should be good. But I will say, coming out with a shovel and a vacuum cleaner, it's a very interesting choice. I don't know what the hell that was about, but I mean, just behind it.
Yeah, they're kind of the odd tag team out of this whole equation, I think. And again, like I said, I'm still waiting on them to kind of explain the whole relationship with Kenny Omega and Jack Perry. But I don't think we're going to get an explanation this deep into the story.
They're fine now. They're just fine. You're not going to get an explanation, but
no.
They're fine now. After what Jack Perry did, wasn't the whole entire intestines thing on Dynamite when he just like splattered them all over the place backstage?
Yeah.
It was just, yeah. They're never gonna explain that, but yeah, they're cool now.
Mike, your thoughts?
So everything I want to say about this situation, we would have to fast forward to a backstage segment that happens later on with Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. So I would need the okay to add that into what I want to say, because this is part of the show where I feel like they kind of gave away what's going to happen on Saturday. You okay with me jumping ahead to that segment? That backstage with Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express? Or shall we wait?
I mean, it kind of ties into this, so.
Yes.
So the backstage segment that happens with Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express backstage kind of I feel like gives away what we're gonna get on Saturday. Like you said, we may not get an explanation or an answer with words. We're gonna get it with actions. Correct?
Yes.
That's what we're gonna get. If you go and watch that Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express segment, they mentioned Don Callis, they mentioned Josh Alexander, but not one mention about the Young Bucks. Not one word about the Young Bucks. They don't say Matt. They don't say Nick. They don't say the Young Bucks. Nothing about them. Just Josh Alexander and Don Callis. Right there makes me feel like we already got our answer. Right there makes me feel like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Jack Perry and Jurassic Express are going to be back together come Saturday. The Young Bucks are going to end up losing because of Josh Alexander, and Josh is going to probably get in their face, whatever, and that's where I feel like we are going to get our answer. So I feel like they already told us last night what is going to happen on Saturday with this situation. And we are going to get a babyface turn by the Young Bucks.
It's got to happen. I mean, it's the only way to go from this point. So, I mean, if they don't do that, it's kind of staring at them in the face.
I mean, there's no other way to go. I mean, the Young Bucks already. It's not like they're playing into the persona that people are giving them as the broke Bucks. It's just that we know that it's old, and people are sick of hearing it. Like, just get them back to where they were with their music and all this stuff. And we got their music last night and everything. But the Broke Bucks thing is gone. It's dead. It's dead in the water. And like I said before, AEW, they're starting to kind of get their traction back a little bit with, the smaller arenas and all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. But bringing back something that was popular back in the days, 2019, 2020, 2021, wouldn't probably hurt due to the fact that that's what the fans really loved. That would be a start with getting the Young Bucks back with Kenny Omega, the Elite back together with the addition of Jurassic Express. And there you go. The feeling of what AEW was truly built on. So last night, that situation, I feel like they already told us what the answer is going to be from the Young Bucks and what we're going to get.
I mean, I was going to pick Jurassic and Kenny anyway. Because that's the only way to go. But, I mean, yeah, it's the only way to go to get Young Bucks to loss and turn a babyface again.
Our next match is for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at Full Gear. Speedball Mike Bailey versus Shelton Benjamin. Again, this is a interesting clash of styles here, with Speedball Mike Bailey and Shelton Benjamin. But of course, again, Shelton Benjamin wins this match, and there's no shock there. So the Hurt Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley will be number 1 and number 2 in this Casino Gauntlet match. Very interesting to see there. I think it's going to be good. I think just out of the respect they have for each other and the respect they have for the longevity that they have been tagging together in the Hurt Syndicate, I think they're going to put on a good match for the for number 1, number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. Your guys' thoughts on this match, Mike? We'll start with you.
I mean, we're gonna have Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley in this Gauntlet match.
That's
I mean, no, yeah. I mean, again, I mean, not to spoil the picks or anything like that for Full Gear later, but I just think Bobby Lashley is going to completely win this thing, and Shelton Benjamin's going to be in there to help him. And if MVP is another addition into there, MVP's in there. I think we're starting to see we've seen the rise of the Hurt Syndicate, but now we're starting to see the rise of the Hurt Syndicate as fan favorites, and people are loving them. So why not put them in the position of success and climbing the mountain and climbing the ladder by making one of them, Bobby Lashley, the national champion? So I wasn't too into this match either. So
I don't blame you. I mean, it's not a whole lot to it personally.
There wasn't.
Now, for me, and again, I know we're kind of skipping ahead with the predictions or whatever. I wouldn't mind seeing Shelton Benjamin win that match.
I love that too.
National champion. That's just me. But Phil, your thoughts on this match?
Well, first of all, I think it was better than the first one we got with the Hurt Syndicate. I think this was leaps and bounds better than what Bobby and Ricochet did. But I mean, the Bobby match, that was really realistically just a not squash, but like just to shut up Ricochet and just do whatever you need to do. You can say it. It was just to get Ricochet out there, run his mouth, and then just do whatever Bobby needed to do. There were some miscues in this thing that I felt like were kind of a little bit off. The kick out issue was a little bit weird with one of the super kicks, but I think Mike Bailey was actually probably just knocked out like silly for real on that one, and they couldn't figure out what the heck was going on there, but they were able to try to recover. Benjamin coming in at number 2, that's fine. It is kind of interesting to see where they're probably going to go with the whole Bobby and Shelton thing starting off the thing, but we'll see in due time. I like Mike Bailey being in this thing because Mike Bailey is awesome, so we'll see. But yeah, it's just kind of a no-brainer to me right now that either one of those two winning the national championship could be a really good thing for it to start off, and we'll see what happens with them moving on.
We definitely will see in due time come Saturday for Full Gear, being number 1, number 2 in this Casino Gauntlet. Moving on, we had a tag team match, Moxley and Claudio versus Strong and Cassidy. Don't know why we're still doing this. Again, it seems like a never-ending feud with Death Riders taking on some members of the conglomeration. Again, didn't really necessarily care for this either. It was an okay match, to say the least. I mean, again, I like seeing Claudio. I mean, Claudio is just an absolute beast. I said this, and I'm going to keep saying it until it's a thing. I wouldn't mind seeing him as a solo babyface. I think it's been far too long, and I think he just based off what we've seen in WWE, he obviously has the ability to carry his own and carry a babyface run to some degree. So I would like to see what that will look like in AEW.
He should be a candidate in that gauntlet match.
Yeah, I would say so. Claudio being one of the guys to possibly be the national champion, I wouldn't mind that either. He definitely needs to be highlighted. I would think a little bit more. Again, like I said, I don't know why we're doing this never-ending feud. I just said that. Garcia and Wheeler Yuta were the ones that were the difference makers in this match, and provided a distraction for the Death Riders to win this match. Again, they have the strength in numbers. They add 17 more members. They're just Don Callis family 2.0. So yeah, they have the strength in numbers. This is the same song and dance with their matches there's really no point in having a one-on-one or having a six-man or having a tag team match, because you just know there's some other member that's not involved in this match that's going to get involved. So there is no evening the odds with these guys unless you get them all in one match and like a Blood and Guts or Stadium Stampede or something like that. There is no one-on-one or two-on-two. There just isn't. They just have the strength in numbers, and that's one thing that Death Riders always use to their advantage. So again, another match just for the sake of a match. Kyle O'Reilly got a pretty sizable pop when he was a kid. Coming to the ring, didn't see that coming. I'm gonna be honest with you. Locks in the ankle lock on Moxley after the match. Nobody was able to break the hold on Kyle O'Reilly having ankle lock on Moxley, which I thought was hilarious because they're just kicking him. He's just like sitting there laughing like a maniac, still having the ankle lock locked in.
Yeah.
And of course, Kyle O'Reilly, he cuts. Now, I'll say this: Kyle O'Reilly on the mic. Haven't heard much of him on the mic, but from what I have heard in the past, it has not been great. This was his best promo, and it was short, sweet, and to the point. And he says he got his first taste of blood, and he wants a no holds barred match with Jon Moxley at Full Gear. It was fantastic. The delivery, the overall anger in his voice. It was the best promo work from Kyle O'Reilly that I've ever heard. So fantastic work by him on the mic. Great stuff by him with the ankle lock and just him looking like a man possessed, trying to snap the ankle of Jon Moxley. Love it. Love everything about it. Now, question is, and this is a big question going into our predictions for Full Gear, what do they do? Did they give Jon Moxley yet another loss in a major match on a major stage on a pay-per-view like Full Gear to Kyle O'Reilly of all people? Or do they have Jon Moxley rebound off of all these losses he's had recently and beat Kyle O'Reilly? That is really the big question going into that match at Full Gear. But I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on this particular match on Dynamite. Mike, I'm going to start with you.
I think one of the bigger questions is, would a loss to Kyle O'Reilly be a significant loss? I know Kyle O'Reilly can be a star. I know he's got talent. I know he's got what it takes, all that jazz. The list goes on and on about what Kyle O'Reilly has. But is it a significant loss enough for Jon Moxley to go away for a while or break away from the Death Riders, for them to attack him and kick him out of the group? Is it a significant loss? I think that's the bigger question. It's a no-holds-barred match. We're getting a DQ match for a championship either before this match or after this match, earlier or later on in the night. It's basically the same fucking match type, just different named. No holds barred, no DQ. It's the same thing. But the big question is Kyle O'Reilly a significant loss? If you go back to when Moxley lost to Darby Allin, that was a significant loss. Or when Jon Moxley gave up last week inside the Blood and Guts, that's a significant loss. But I don't think that Kyle O'Reilly, if he were to lose to Kyle O'Reilly, would be that significant for them to kick him out or him to go away or for him to, disband from the group. I don't think it is. Not taking anything away from Kyle O'Reilly, but I don't think it's that big of a loss. Now, if he was in there with Darby Allin again and lost to Darby Allin, then it would be significant. But it's not like we're seeing Kyle O'Reilly in the main event every week after week, fighting for world championships or doing all these big things. He's just in the mix of a feud with the conglomeration and the Death Riders. That's that. He's just in the mix. And I think, I'm going to say this right now, I think Tony Khan flipped a coin and said it's either going to be Kyle O'Reilly or somebody else, and it just ended up flipping on Kyle O'Reilly. That's how I think he picked this match to happen on Saturday. So,
it's possible. I hope that's not how that he came.
I honestly think that's the way he did it.
When I seen this match on the card for Full Gear, I honestly, the first thing that came to my mind was Submit and Blood and Guts. That was it. And that's your feud. Like, who cares? Mox has lost a ton before then. So
I mean, and the other thing about Claudio is, and I just realized this, that he's been stuck in a group ever since being in AEW. He came along, BCC, now the Death Riders. Like, I can agree with that. I can agree with having him break away and do some solo stuff.
Yes.
I could. Or if he just even stays in the group, but we see him more in a solo spotlight. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to be away from the Death Riders, but he could be more of a solo guy. He doesn't have to be in all these tag matches. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Tony flipped the coin, though. That's just my determination.
Bill, your thoughts on this match?
The one thing that I kind of thought of when it came down to this match being announced for Full Gear with Kyle and John Moxley is exactly kind of the same wavelength that you were thinking, Cam, because of everything that happened in Blood and Guts. Now, I agree with Mike in saying that is a completely stupid way to go about it, and just just random ass way to get to a match between the two. But it kind of is just the only thing that went and made sense at the time. They've been doing this thing with Kyle O'Reilly over the course of the last couple of weeks, and they've been doing an arc of him kind of getting more, I wouldn't say sadistic or aggressive in a way, but he's been more of a prominent role than he has been in the past, especially in a singles type role. And they've been doing this whole thing with the ankle lock. They've been doing this whole thing where he's kind of gotten into the head of Moxley to where Moxley just can't shake quitting anymore ever since the whole I quit match situation happened between him and Darby. And now we're having a thing here, with everything that's kind of happening with Kyle O'Reilly as of late, him getting a win over John Moxley, I don't even realistically think would be a bad idea, but you gotta make something happen in order to, if anything happens with this, if Kyle O'Reilly somehow finds a way to get a win over John Moxley at Full Gear, something huge has to happen with John Moxley and the Death Riders after that, because losing to Kyle O'Reilly, if you're John Moxley, it's not a good look. It's not, especially in the eyes of the other members of the Death Riders, or at least it shouldn't be a good look. So I'm kind of liking the way that they're going about Kyle O'Reilly right now, but is it a thing that's going to be a long-term situation moving forward? No, I don't, but it's something that AEW has kind of caught my eye on with this, and we'll see come Full Gear what happens. But the match itself was fine. It was fine. It's just realistically the angle that they're doing with Kyle O'Reilly right now is just the thing that is being talked about, and it's kind of more interesting than whatever happened in the match.
I mean, you heard him say it on commentary, and that's something that really stuck out to me was when Tony Schiavone says, people have been talking about the string of losses that Moxley has, and he just doesn't give a damn. He's just John Moxley. I'm like, but he should care though.
Yeah.
Like if you are the head, if you are spearheading this group, that their original mission statement was to take over AEW, which never really came to fruition in the first place. You should care about that kind of stuff because you were the world champion at one point. You were on top of the world. You held the title hostage essentially without allowing us to see it, keeping it and carrying it around in a briefcase under lock and key. So that should mean something. Like the downfall, how things are trickling down and just going downhill for this group should matter and should be the focal point of this group. They shouldn't just have a string of losses again and again and again and again, and there's no progression with that. And week after week, it's like they just think that their audience is just supposed to have amnesia.
Lost the story focus.
And we don't remember.
They did. They lost the focus.
But it's like they expect us to have amnesia and just forget that these important losses happen at pay-per-views and big shows like Blood and Guts, and nothing matters to them. They're just going to keep going as if nothing happened. And it's weird to me.
Oh, I think Tony Khan might be. You know what? I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Never mind. I guess there's a safe way of saying it. No, there's not. No, there's not. Never mind. There's no fucking safe way of saying it. Tony Khan just needs to,
Stop doing these kind of things. That's what he needs to stop doing.
Lay
Make
off.
storylines matter. Plain simple. Plain simple. Next we had Brodito. Brodito's backstage in a very brief promo. Obviously, they proclaim that FTR are going to walk out empty-handed at Full Gear as they're going to retain their tag team titles. Not a whole lot there. Omega. Go ahead, Mike.
That promo fucking sounded so goddamn scripted. If I had to pick any promo in this show last night that sounded, that promo sounded so fucking scripted.
Yeah, it probably was. It was rushed.
Like it's almost like he was reading off a cue card of what to say.
Might have been looking off a teleprompter. Who knows?
I was like, come on now. You're supposed to be a tag team champions. You're supposed to be rolling. Like make your shit sound believable.
To be fair,
it wasn't needed.
To be, I mean,
that too was not needed whatsoever. We're gonna go out and make sure that we beat FTR and keep our tag team championship.
That promo told me you're losing, bud. You're losing.
Oh, for sure.
So go home.
FTR
I don't expect them to retain
out with our gold.
That promo told me, if anything, told me a result that's gonna happen at Full Gear. That was it.
We're gonna continue being the tag team champions.
You know, you sound like you sound like Kane when he was like using the whole like voice gimmick.
Oh,
that's what you sound like.
Let me tell you, rest in peace. The best one is when he was with DX. Again.
Oh boy.
Austin.
I mean, to be fair, we don't really hear a lot from this tag team in terms of promos anyway.
We don't need to.
So
Brody's a lot better on the mic than this, I'll tell you that.
Maybe.
I would hope so.
He could be.
I would hope so.
I mean, anybody could be.
He's definitely a lot better than what he's been doing.
I would hope so, for sure. After this, we then got Omega and Jurassic Express. Kenny makes it clear that he means business and doesn't care about the money. So, I mean, again, as I said earlier, it doesn't matter. It's literally an afterthought. Again, the bigger picture here is the reformation of the Elite, which I'm expecting to happen. If it doesn't happen and the Bucks actually swerve us all and join the Don Callis family, I think will be the biggest plot twist probably ever for this company, or at least in a while. So I don't expect that to happen, but we will definitely have to see in due time. After that, we then got our next match, which is a part of the women's tag team tournament. We have Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa versus Rio and Alex Windsor. Very odd tag team, if you ask me, Rio and Windsor. But this match was okay. This match was pretty decent, if you ask me. Again, I'm liking the tournament thus far. That is until what I saw in Collision, which I'll get to. Other than that, like I said, the women's tag team tournament is pretty good, pretty decent for right now. I'm just hoping that they keep things on track and don't make questionable decisions. Put it like that.
They already did on Collision.
They already did on Collision. So yeah,
like it's good right now, but
however,
there's always that but. Oh, there's still a lot of time.
To mess it all up, right?
Time for them just to fuck this thing up so bad.
They went with the right decision in this particular match. Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa are moving on. So, your guys' thoughts on this match?
They did okay on Dynamite, not Collision.
Not so much. But I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this particular tag match. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah. That's realistically all my thoughts on this. They made the right choice on Dynamite, not Collision. The match was fine. I honestly really liked it too. I I like the tag team of Willow and Harley a lot. I do. I almost forgot who it was. I'm sorry, Harley. But yeah, I like that team a lot. Alex Windsor and Riho. If you take a look at the entire bracket, that tag team to me was realistically the one, and you could argue that. Well, definitely the Marina Shafir and
Megan Bain.
Damn it, Megan Bain. I cannot remember. See, that's a problem here, people. Those two teams right there are realistically the two like makeshift kind of deal here. But other than that, you actually have some sort of legit tag team kind of camaraderie here that I like, at least when you're trying to crown a first ever tag team champion. It's just, like you said, Cam, there's a lot of time still to mess this up. You did okay here, and with the matches that we have gotten so far, the women are trying to make this as important as it possibly can be. And I like that. They are really trying here. They're really trying to make this seem important. And it's a good thing for them at the end of the day, because, there's a lot of women in this company. They should be allowed to fight for something. And if it is tag team championships, at the end of the day, you just got to make it as important as you want to make it to be. And they're trying, they're doing their thing. But I mean, obviously, when you talk about the collision portion, or if you want to just talk about the absolute wrong decision to happen on that show, we'll get there. But overall, really like what the Babes of Wrath are doing.
Mike?
The Babes of Wrath.
That's what they're called.
Babes of Wrath.
I'm not.
I thought Mina and Tony's. First off, Tony Storm, what happened to you being all distraught? Like, coming out and dancing and being all happy and giddy. Like, you were distraught the past couple weeks. And now last night, because you were teaming with Mina Shirakawa, we're all happy and giddy and jumpy and dancing and woohoo! The fuck? And then Alex Windsor. Okay. We haven't seen Riho in a long time. Love Riho. I've loved Riho since AEW started. I am a fan of Riho. I am happy when we see her on my screen. Right? Tried to completely steal the spotlight from Riho. Any chance she got. Like, even when Riho is just standing at the top of the ramp, like, waving to people, she's like, get the fuck off my camera. Like, get off my screen. Move. Like, let me see Riho. Like, I don't need to see, who are you? Like, what have you done lately? Like, fucking hey. Not a bad match, though. I'll say this right now. I like the women's tag team tournament. I do. I just hope they make the right decision on who they should crown first, and I think it needs to be the Sisters of Sin. Like, it would be unfitting if they didn't have the Sisters of Sin win this thing. It would be. If you would have anybody else but the Sisters of Sin win this thing, I think it would be a disservice to the women's tag team titles. It's just my opinion. I think they need to be the first ones. So, just some of the gimmicks, man. Just what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? 3 weeks ago, Tony Storm. 2 weeks ago, last week, you're distraught, getting your ass kicked in the fucking cage, and you come out doing a dance number with fucking Mina Shirakawa because you were with her tagging up. Like, give me a fucking break.
Hey, man, I don't know. I have no idea, but I thought the exact same thing. I'm glad you said that.
Good.
The exact same thing.
I'm not alone then. Good.
Because I told you my thought, my idea. My idea was, because she posed the question, and I know I'm kind of like going off track here, but she posed the question of, like, who is she without the Women's World Championship? I thought we were going, I didn't really think, because I didn't think they would go that far, but it felt as if they could have taken this to a darker path and turn her heel. Like, she's still timeless Tony Storm, but turn her heel and just have her be this darker version of what we already know Tony to be. Would have been gold, I think.
I didn't have
Tony
an AEW to do that.
You know what they could have done last night? She could have been in that distraught state to the point where her mind wasn't even into the match. Every time Mina would go for a tag, she's not paying attention. Mina gets her ass kicked. She loses. And then she just, at the end of the match, just completely turns on Mina. Her and Mina could have lost that match last night. Wouldn't have mattered. She could have turned on Mina and continued and turned heel and been distraught and all this stuff. But instead, we got to have her coming out and doing a fucking dance number. Like, you completely lost your storyline with Toni Storm going around the women's world title in one night by having her do what she did last night. Because if she comes out all distraught on another episode of Dynamite, it is so fucking unbelievable because of this. All because of the women's tag tournament? Come on now. No. You lost me last night with her. You did. And I feel, and you guys know, I was not the biggest fan of Toni Storm. And she gained my fandom throughout the past year and a half. She has. And last night completely ruined it for me. It did. It ruined it for me.
That's crazy.
It did.
The only way that I saw Alex and Riho winning that thing, which was very slim to me to begin with, was if something like that happened. The whole turning on Mina or whatever because of the whole dark character or whatever, like Cam was mentioning and pitching for like the last couple of weeks. But the only reason why I knew that Tony and Mina were winning that thing last night was because of everything that happened in Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
We're getting that semifinal matchup between those two and Mina and Marina and Megan. And obviously that happened. So, I mean, that's going to be a semifinal match. But that's everything that happened in Blood and Guts isn't realistically the only way to go to get to a semifinal match if there is a story and a better story that you could have possibly had further down the line. That could have lasted a lot more long-term than this. So, they went with the short-term instead of a long-term plan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said again, I mean, I'm kind of on both ends of the spectrum on that. I think the ending to Women's Blood and Guts was just perfect. Just the way they had that set up. So I don't mind that being the semi-final match. But again, I still think it's there's still time. Then I think
Tony and Mina are going to the finals because of that. I do.
I mean, they could. They definitely could. But I don't know. I still feel like there's still time. There's still time that you could easily salvage that. With Tony eventually turning heel. I just hope they do it.
There's a lot of time to still do that.
I just hope they do it at the right time, and not when it's like, okay, the moment is past.
If they lose the tag team titles, she can turn on.
Yeah, that would be a good moment. I think.
AEW and right time in the same sentence. Whew.
I just don't have faith in them to do
exist.
it. I just don't. That's the thing. I don't have faith in them in order to turn Tony heel, even though that does make a ton of sense. I just don't.
Right time in AEW doesn't exist. No.
It's not in their vocabulary.
I don't have faith in it.
No. Women's Fatal 4-Way match was announced for Full Gear, so we'll see how that goes as well. Thanks to via Renee Paquette. After that, we go.
Not even Renee.
Voice of Renee.
Voice of Renee.
That was.
They've been doing that lately.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know how I like
cool.
it. I don't think I like it.
I kind of like it. It's different touch. It's different. I don't mind it. It is what it is. Could it be done a little better? Sure, but it's not bad. We go to the back with Alicia Toot, and she is with Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. They agreed to no physicality. We already know how these things turn out normally. Fletcher boasts that he will have the most title defenses in a single TNT title run, which is major because that TNT championship has been a staple, I would say, for the mid-card scene for a long time, since the Cody Rhodes days in AEW. So that is very major. Of course, Briscoe says he is representing his family. He's going to make his family proud when he walks out as the new TNT champion. That got a massive reaction from the crowd as well. And then, of course, Hache Cero and Okada attack Mark Briscoe. And then, of course, Fletcher thanks Okada for agreeing to not agree to no physicality. And then of course he has a little dig at his enemy that he's just been hating on ever since, especially since winning the IWGP World Championship, and that would be Takeshita. It says, yeah, thanks. I'm glad I could help because I knew Takeshita could not. So again, we're still doing this whole Takeshita Okada thing. I don't know when this match is going to happen, but I definitely want to see it. I need to see it. Been dying to see it for the longest.
It has to happen there.
Has to. So I don't know. We'll definitely see if that match gets made official eventually. So we'll definitely have to
Continental
see.
Classic. Make him the winner of that shit and do it.
Will they still do the Continental Classic?
They announced it. They announced it last night that they're doing it.
Did they? Okay, I missed that part. Okay.
Starting next week.
Interesting.
Classic starts.
Yep.
And we're gonna get participants announced most likely just on social media throughout the rest of the week.
Interesting.
And the matches start this coming Dynamite.
So we'll see. I mean, we could definitely see that match in the Continental Classic. After that, I think that was it with this particular promo or backstage segment, I should say. If you guys have any thoughts on this, Mike, we'll start with you.
So I mean, we're talking about the Continental Classic, right? That's what we're talking about. The start of it coming up, right?
No, talking about the backstage segment.
Oh, the backstage between Mark Briscoe and everything. I mean, like we've been talking about, the time with Mark Briscoe, they never get it right. They put him in these big match situations all the time, and then when they get to that point, they don't pull the trigger. I think they need to decide to pull that trigger this time around. I get it, Kyle Fletcher. He's doing good things for the TNT title. He's trying to bring some relevance to it for defending it as many times as he is, all that stuff. But Mark Briscoe, with how hard he's working to get to where he's at in this situation, getting up to this point and having a big match, they got to stop like pulling the rug out from underneath him when he gets into these big match situations. They got to give him the opportunity at this point, because he's not going to go any further than this. It's not like we're going to see him in a world title match or anything like that. We're not. TNT title is probably as far as he's going to get to. Maybe the international championship. Who knows? Maybe the national championship for all we know. But the world title, no. So give the guy a chance. You can always take the belt off him if it's not working, and put it right back on Kyle Fletcher. I almost said O'Reilly. Kyle Fletcher. So I mean, just make it happen and see what happens. They can prolong this feud between these two. They can. There's so many things they can do with these two. It's just all about keeping people interested in it. And I guess that would be the post question. Are you interested in it at this point? Yeah.
No.
Make it interesting. Make it interesting. There's ways to make it interesting.
Oh, I know there is.
So we'll see.
Phil?
It's just the fifth time they're fighting at this point. So like I'm just numb to it now. And yeah, sure, it's been spread out to get to 5 right now, but I mean, it's just they have not pulled the trigger yet. And I don't trust them to. I don't. And that to me is just a terrible feeling, especially when it comes down to somebody like Mark Briscoe, who is a fan favorite that everybody just wants to see succeed. And I like Kyle. I do. Kyle Fletcher is absolutely fantastic to me. And, I'm enjoying what he's doing right now. But there's a better way to go about what they're doing with Mark Briscoe. And losing another match to Kyle O'Reilly just ain't it. So, I mean, we'll see. But I just don't trust AEW in order for them to do what they should realistically do.
We'll definitely have to see. Come Full Gear this Saturday. Moving on, this is our last segment for our main event. We had Pac in a very intense one-on-one sit-down. And he's addressing one Darby Allin. said he intended to break Darby Allin's neck, which he did not do that as he had promised. Instead, sent his charred carcass to a burn unit. We have obviously seen him throw him off of the Dynamite structure onto 2 flaming tables set on fire by one Gabe Kidd last week. So that looked very nasty. We have not seen or heard from Darby Allin since then, as Pac and Darby Allin are set to have a singles match at Full Gear. Now, I had a very big issue with this. Mike can attest to this. Again, this is a pay-per-view that, again, your audience, whether they are a loyal audience that watches every single Wednesday night and Saturday night for whatever reason, or you're making them pay $50 to see Pac and Darby Allin have a singles match, just a straight up singles match that could be on free television on TBS. I had a major issue with that until this fantastic promo from Pac, because he states that he is just such a premier athlete that he does not believe that if you take all the bells and whistles and tasers and violence and blood and gore away from Darby Allin, that he cannot straight up one-on-one beat him in a straight up singles match. So that alone there sold me on this match. I think it's going to be great. I'm leaning more towards Pac to win this match, because you can't talk that kind of smack and lose to Darby Allin, who, again, he's not lying. He relies on jumping off stuff and going through flaming tables and stuff like that. You can't lose now. That's just gonna make you look silly. But let me get you guys' thoughts on this particular promo from Pac. Mike, I'm sorry with you.
Cam, I gotta disagree with you. I think Darby Allin can go in and beat Pac straight up one-on-one. You have a guy that can go in and beat somebody when there's stuff that's involved, weapons and all that stuff. I get there's always the analogy that people use. When you have a dog that's used to being loose and you cage them up, what happens? They go wild, right? Go wild in that cage. Okay. Darby Allin is a wild dog. He can fuck things up when he has weapons to disposal. Okay? You're going to cage him up and put him in a regular one-on-one match. I think Darby Allin is going to go even crazier because he can't do all the crazy shit that he's used to doing. He can do the crazy high-flying shit, but he's not going to have the weapons or flamethrowers, grenades, Molotovs, or anything like that. Kitchen sink. So I think Darby Allin can beat Pac straight up one-on-one. Let me just put it this way. If Orange Cassidy can do it, Darby Allin can do it. And Orange Cassidy has done it. So,
Phil, your thoughts?
I think what Pac was saying in that promo is exactly the reason why I do believe that Darby can actually do this. I do. But, I mean, Pac is so good at what he does. He makes you just sit there and listen to the words that he says. Like, he makes you listen. And it could be, honestly, a promo that just makes absolutely no sense, but just because of his cadence, just because of the wording, just because of the way that he just goes about his promos, Pac is a really good talker to make you feel something. So this match is going to be really good. I am honestly really looking forward to seeing what Darby Allin can do without the whole bells and whistles, and seeing what he can do with just kind of in a straight up thing. And hopefully, I mean, I can't hope in this company. But if you want to actually kind of drive this thing a little bit further, because of what Pac said, without all the bells and whistles, if Darby Allin tries to use some bell and whistle to try to get one over on Pac or whatever, that referee should be on his ass and say, "Hey, look, you can't do that. No, don't do it." Because if anything, you gotta do that on your own. But I mean, the thing is, it's just going to be something interesting to see for Darby if he can actually do it or not. But other than that, it's just a match to have a match to me. We've got a lot of stuff on this card. This is definitely just a Dynamite match to me if you really wanted to do it.
But gentlemen, we have reached the main event. The main event saw the World Heavyweight Champion Hangman Adam Page taking on Katsuyori Shibata. Again, this was just a match to get to the bigger picture, which is the main event for Full Gear. Steel cage match against Samoa Joe, World Championship on the line. Of course, Hangman Adam Page wins. The promo afterwards from Hangman Adam Page I thought was pretty good as well. There was even a callback to when he was wearing a poncho when Samoa Joe was a part of commentary with Michael Cole back in WrestleMania. I forget which WrestleMania
37.
Yeah, and that was the first WrestleMania when they had fans come back after the whole shutdown and whatnot have you from 2020. I thought this was a good promo as well. He says he wants Joe to remember what happened the last time he was locked inside a steel cage with another man. And of course, we all know that man just so happened to be probably his greatest rival in AEW in its existence. And that was, of course, Swerve Strickland. So let me get you guys' thoughts on this match and the promo, if you have any. Afterwards, after the match, Phil, I'm going to start with you.
Match was fine. They just wanted to get Hangman a win. Let's just be real. And just having Samoa Joe be out there on commentary, him on commentary was probably just the best part of the entire thing. I like what he's doing right now with Tony Schiavone. I like the back and forth that he and Brian had. Baron, keep in mind, Brian Danielson, absolutely fantastic on commentary. I freaking love that guy there. But I just like the back and forth that Samoa Joe and Brian did there. The stuff that we're seeing right now between Samoa Joe and Hangman and Page, we're done. We're done with it. We just gotta get to the match. That's what this match was for, just to get there. And that promo was to just accentuate what Hangman and Page can do to somebody when he's locked inside a steel cage. That promo is gonna mean something, I feel, down the line, especially with the way that he kind of said, like, look, the last time I was in that cage, I did something that realistically is something I don't want to ever do it again. But if I'm gonna have to go to those lengths again, I will. It's gonna mean something down the line. So we'll see how that does in due time. But we just gotta get there.
Absolutely. Mike, your thoughts?
You guys ever watch dogs sleep?
No.
I'm watching my dogs sleep right now. They sleep with their eyes like halfway open, and they give me like Undertaker vibes. Like just watching them sleep, I'm like, man, it's so fucking creepy. It's so creepy. It was a good match. I agree. They had to just get past this to get to Saturday. As far as the promo, I'm going to say this. I was watching a TikTok wrestling podcast today. I don't know if it was a podcast. I don't know, whatever. It was a live on TikTok.
It's a TikTok live.
Oh, you came across it as well?
No, I'm just saying they call it a podcast, but it's a TikTok live.
It was somebody doing a pro wrestling one. And they mentioned something that Hangman mentioned in this promo. I might have missed it. I don't know. But apparently he mentioned Swerve Strickland. And you guys know me. I don't involve myself in online wrestling disputes. I involved myself today.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. They were making the bold prediction that the host was making the bold prediction that because of Hangman mentioning Swerve Strickland, that he thinks that Swerve Strickland's going to come and help Hangman out. And I said in the comments, it cannot fucking happen. Swerve Strickland has yet to be cleared to compete because he is recovering from a meniscus tear. Well, there's still a chance that he might come back. Swerve Strickland is not cleared to compete. He is recovering from a fucking meniscus tear. So there is no chance that he can come back because he is not cleared to compete.
In one ear, out the other.
Fucking 3 times, bro. I left. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, how hard is it
anymore?
How hard is it to understand? The man is hurt. He is recovering from a 2 months ago. A meniscus tear can take up to a year to recover from. put a blocker through your right or left ear and listen to what I'm fucking saying. He is not cleared to compete. Therefore, you are not going to see Swerve come back and help him. I had to leave. I had to. I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it. It lasted 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And that is why I keep everything, anything and everything right here. Right here.
That is the IWC for you. What can I tell you?
Fucking crazy bastard. And then his co-host followed me on TikTok.
Now you got a follower out of it.
I got a follower out of it. Right?
So, I mean, hey,
He obviously agreed with you.
Otherwise, he
He
wouldn't
might have
follow.
disagreed with you.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I apologize, Mike, that you have.
I did not participate in any of those TikTok lives anymore, especially for those kind of reasons right there, because it's just
See,
boneheaded stuff like this.
But Phil,
you
the
know?
reason why I don't put myself through it is because, and I keep everything here, is because not only do I have to deal with, would have to deal with it, pro wrestling stuff online, I also have to deal with the football stuff.
Yeah.
And the comments I have to read on a daily. I'm not talking weekly. I'm not talking every other day.
Trust me.
Daily basis on our videos from the Huddle Hub is fucking nuts.
Trust me.
Somebody decided to comment on my one. I make my weekly picks and I post a video of it. And somebody said, Lions, because I picked the Eagles over the Lions last week, and somebody said, oh, Lions over Eagles. And then they decided to comment on Sunday night after the game. Looks like you did a great job. Ha ha ha. And then I commented, I said,
I
yeah.
hate those kind of
Hold
people,
on, though.
man.
Hold on. I went 13-1 in my picks last week.
Yeah. There you go.
I did do a great job.
Yeah, you did. But I'm just saying, like, I hate those kind of people. It's like, all right, I made the one wrong choice, and you just have to come back to just try to do something.
But I picked the Eagles to beat the Lions, so I did make the right choice.
You made the right choice, yeah.
I got one wrong in the middle of the day on Sunday.
Just
so
people are people.
Yeah,
but they thought I did bad.
According to them, apparently.
All right,
one loss. This is bad.
One
apparently.
loss.
Almost a perfect
incredible.
week.
What the hell are they thinking? Like, that's incredible for picks. What the hell? Okay.
We're not covering Collision, but I don't know. I just decided to put down the Collision results. So, in the women's tournament, Marina Shafir and Megan Bain beat Ty J.
Wrong
Why?
choice.
Who thought that was a good idea? Why?
Ty J is literally one of the most legit tag teams that you had in that entire division. Ty J is one of those tag teams that have the most equity in this entire tag team division. If it were up to me, I would have legitimately had the two strongest in terms of equity kind of tag teams in your finals in Ty J and Sisters of Sin. Why did they get first rounded? Why?
I don't know, but I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
I'm gonna react Tony Khan. I'm gonna do a reenactment of Tony Khan.
There's that sniffle right there. That's already perfect.
Probably. That would explain a lot in this company.
That's already perfect right there.
Honestly, that would explain the illogical booking in this company.
Am I wrong though? Those two are
No.
Those two are legitimately the most.
It's not even that.
You're not
It's-
wrong.
Teams there and the equity that they have.
It's not even that. They are the foundation. I mean, before there was tag team formations
They were the
in this
first
company, they were
legit
together.
women's tag team in the company since like 2019, 2020.
So I don't know. That's odd to me. Some of the other results I'm gonna run down really quick. Okada beats Mascara Dorado. That was a pretty good match. Mercedes Moné defeats Red Velvet for the Ring of Honor Women's TV Championship.
That's 13.
Don't know why.
Isn't that 14?
No, it's
Whatever.
13. They unified the titles.
Yeah, because they had like the
they were both of
interim and the regular. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot she was the interim.
Red was the real, and then interim was Mercedes. So they unified.
But hey, I watched Collision, so you guys didn't have to. All right. Moving
God,
on to our full gear predictions. As I pull up the card here.
My head hurts.
Do
My
you
head
guys,
hurts just talking 5 minutes about Collision. Cam, thanks.
do you guys want to do pre-show predictions too, or no?
No, who
Okay.
cares about this? No, a big boom AJ, fantastic.
He's on every pre-show card.
Yes,
In New Jersey, because he's from Jersey.
So,
he's apparently
pretty
signed
sure
to the company. Do we ever see him? No,
He is a pro wrestler.
I know he is, but who
he's a
cares
pro-
when you're going
Hey,
up
he
against
has
QT
signed a pre-show
Marshall?
contract.
I mean, good on him for getting a contract. I mean,
Good on him. It's just it's on every pre-show, so I don't know.
Getting on
Somebody's out
TV.
there enjoying it, but
yeah, somebody's feeling the boom.
I almost didn't catch that. I almost. You almost got me. This close.
$200,000 4-way tag. I don't care.
No.
CMLL tag title. Don't care.
Hold on, there's a $400,000 match as well.
$200,000
$200?
4-way tag team match. Yeah.
So altogether, $2 million or $1,200,000 is up for grab throughout the whole night.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm going to wrestle for AEW. Shit, put me in one of these money matches. Just don't
Get
let
me a
get in the
money
ring.
match, Tony.
Right?
Just let me ref one of these matches.
I'll take on Big Boom AJ for 200,000 or $1 million.
Our first match.
I hate my life here.
I'll go with the women's match. For the Women's World Championship, Chris Statlander is taking on Mercedes Moné. Now, my gut is telling me it's Mercedes Moné because I don't think she's lost a title match at all this year.
Nope.
Yeah.
So
She lost to Tony Storm. She had a world title match earlier this year against Tony Storm, and she lost.
that's right, she did.
That's the only.
That's the
loss she's
only
ever had
one.
in AEW, I think.
You're absolutely correct. Any other title match, I think she's won. So I don't know. Will they give her a second loss? Her challenging for the Women's World Championship. I doubt it. I'd be surprised if Statlander retains, to be honest with you. So I'm going to Mercedes Moné. I think she collects 14 and becomes
That's
the Women's World
14.
Champion.
Yep.
So
happens as
get you guys' predictions on this match. Phil, I'm starting with you.
I'm scared.
You should be.
I'm scared it's gonna happen.
You should be.
Look, the thing is, like with everything that's gonna happen between Chris and Mercedes, the realistic option is to just see Mercedes get the title. But if you're doing that, you're pigeonholing the entire women's division with one woman holding both titles. And the kind of story that they have been telling with Chris and Mercedes since the first two meetings that they have had was that Chris just cannot get the job done over Mercedes Moné. And no matter what capacity. If you want to do something and you want to make something out of Chris Statlander being the AEW Women's World Champion when nobody thought that she was going to win that title when she did, you do the unthinkable and you have her beat Mercedes Moné. Now, is that possibly happening? I literally give it like maybe a 5% chance, and that is generous to me. I do. like that, I feel is completely generous, especially with what happened at the end of that collision last night during that time. But I hate using WWE logic in an AEW setting. But when you have somebody holding that title at the end of the show, you could see them lose. I hope they do. I hope she loses. I just hope they go WWE logic one time in AEW.
I mean, I don't know what they'll have to see. And she actually will then have held all three championships because, I mean,
Yes.
Ring of Honor is, I mean, damn near their developmental system. So,
Yeah.
you know, you have the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, television championship, that is. And then you have the TBS title. So if she were to win the Women's World Championship, that would be all three between Ring of Honor and AEW combined. So That would really
I'm gonna
stick
go
a
with my
strap.
5%. By the way, I'm gonna go with my 5% and just say,
Oh,
Chris.
wow.
I,
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
go with my
Hey,
5%.
I know I picked
And if I'm
Monet,
wrong,
but
I'm wrong.
I know
won't
I
speak
picked
for him.
Monet, but I'm hoping. I'm with you. That 5%. I'm giving like a 3%. Honestly,
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like 5% is generous, but like I'll go with my 5%, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just obviously I would obviously see it coming a mile away because it's Mercedes.
Man, I'm rooting for Statlander hard in this match.
Oh, I am too. I'm just saying. I just don't think it could possibly happen.
Mike, your prediction?
I'm going Chris Statlander. I am. I mean, Mercedes Moné, she was in a position to win the women's world title earlier this year against Toni Storm, and we all thought that Mercedes was going to win it there. She didn't. And if they're going to try and make Chris Statlander's women's world title reign believable at any cost, this is the cost to put it at. Like, she hasn't had the best of luck against Mercedes Moné, and now you're going to do it on a big stage at Full Gear, have her beat Mercedes and continue her reign. Don't cut it short now just because Mercedes wants to collect every fucking belt in pro wrestling, except for the WWE Championship she can't touch because it's in the other company, and the TNA titles. She can't touch TNA titles either. So Chris Statlander, I think Chris walks out. They did it against Tony. They'll do it against Chris.
I hope you're right. My God, I hope you're right.
That won't mean that she won't get that title soon. She will get that women's world title.
I won't be surprised, honestly. I won't be.
She will get it. It's just when.
The AEW World Tag Team titles, Brodito versus FTR. I'm going FTR. Again, I said this before. I'd be shocked if Brodito walks out still World Tag Team champions. I think this is the end of their road. We've talked about it in nauseum about, what is their path? How long does this really last for Brodito? This makeshift upstart random tag team between these two. This is all just to set up, Copeland and Christian coming back and challenging FTR for the World Tag Team titles. I think that's what that sets up. Again, always looking at that bigger picture in terms of storyline. So I'm taking FTR to win the World Tag Team titles. Mike, your prediction?
I didn't believe that Copeland and Christian were going to even. I didn't think there was any even possibility after Copeland said that he's got to go away for a while. Then an interview came out today that he is very much involved in AEW and that he's going to be there in the future. That makes me believe now more that FTR is going to walk out as the World Tag Team Champions this weekend. I don't think there's anything more you can do with Brodito. I think they've gone as far as they could. I think you took it as far as you can, and as far as storyline, and if you have anything else, you can always put the belts back on them at some point. But I think they've ran their course as the tag team champions, and FTR is going to walk out as champions so the story can continue with. I'm believing it now that Copeland and Christian. I'm believing it now. It took this interview that Copeland had, whatever day it was this week, in order for me to believe it. But now I believe it. And plus, if the Young Bucks end up turning babyface, the Young Bucks are going to be there as a challenger. So, the roads would be open for FTR to be the champions and to defend them. So one thing I do want to see them do is kick fucking Stokely to the curb, because I think he is hurting them so bad. That's their one.
That needs to happen. Yeah.
Their one niche is the fact that he just does not fit with them. Like, they're like, just the style of pro wrestlers that they are and the style of his management, it doesn't fit. It doesn't. I could see it. I could probably make a list of 10 tag teams that he can probably be the manager of, but FTR is not one of them.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I told you I liked them better when they had Tully. Tully just fit like a glove. It was just perfect.
Like a glove together. Yeah.
Even if they were with Jake would have fit too, because Jake fit with Lance Archer.
Jake would fit. I would like that. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that either. But Phil, your prediction?
The promo that they did on Dynamite completely confirmed to me that they're losing those tag team titles to FTR. We've been talking about this for a while. Right, guys? At the end of the day, they have just kind of run its course with them as the tag team champions. Brodito and Brody King, they caught fire at the right time when they did. People are behind them, but you can just clearly see the writing on the wall with what AEW is doing right now with FTR. And I don't think realistically you can do what they're doing with FTR right now without those tag team titles. So I feel like they're just going to win the tag team titles. Christian and Cope are going to come back and we do the match at World's End and we'll see how things go. But yeah, they got to win the tag team titles, and whether they just go their separate ways in terms of Brodito and Bandito. I kept saying Brodito and Brody King. Whether they go their separate ways or not, it is what it is. But I feel like they can still be a legit tag team if they wanted to. It's just done. The tag team title run is done.
The next match is the $1 million trios match. The winner to receive $1 million cash prize. Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express taking on the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. I think Phil said it earlier. The only real option here is to go with Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express.
Yeah,
I think that makes the most sense here. Again, there's still that looming question if the Don Callis family, or if the Young Bucks are going to take up the offer of the Don Callis family to join the ranks of the Don Callis family. I don't think they do. I think that's a no-brainer there. Again, can they pull a crazy curveball and have the Bucks swerve everybody and actually join? Possibly, but I'm giving that like a 1% chance. I really don't see that happening. You can read it on their faces. You can read it in their body language. They want nothing to do with ganging up on Kenny Omega or joining the Don Callis family. They don't give off that vibe right now. So we'll definitely have to see, but I'm definitely taking Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express to win this match. Phil, your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, it's Kenny and the Kenny and the Bucks. We'll get there. Kenny and Jurassic Express all the way. There's just no other choice at this point. I will say that throughout this entire match, we are definitely going to be seeing a lot of Kenny and Bucks either references from commentary or just whenever they lock up with each other in the ring. There's going to be a lot of stuff with this. And they're going to tease it, and they're going to set this up a lot. So I'm prepared for it. I'm here for it. And it's legitimately the only way to go to have Kenny and Jurassic win. So there you go.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm going Kenny and Jurassic Express. Like I said earlier, during that promo last night, no mentioning of the Bucks whatsoever. It was all about Josh Alexander, Don Callis, and the Don Callis family. No mentioning. My situation is the way I'm seeing this happen is after the match, Josh Alexander, maybe another member or two of the Don Callis family get in their face. They start fighting with them, and then Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express go in, help them out, and the Young Bucks reunite with Kenny Omega. And we've already seen teasers of it too a couple times. So I'm going Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express.
The next match is the Casino Gauntlet match for the inaugural AEW National Championship. I pretty much already had told you guys my possible pick to win this all. I wouldn't mind seeing Shelton Benjamin win and be the inaugural national champion. I think he'd be a decent pick and somebody that I think would just look legitimate, a legitimate threat. I mean, the guy is having pretty much he even said it himself. I mean, it's not just me saying this, but he had said himself that he is having a bit of a career resurgence in AEW, and I can't disagree with that even any more than he has. Just his in-ring definitely looks a lot better than it was in WWE. They're giving him more spotlight. They're treating him better, I would say, on screen than what he looked like when he was in WWE. For that time he came back, I should say. And I just think that he would be a great pick, a great legitimate pick. Bobby Lashley's not a bad pick either. But again, I think just the quality of matches I think would be slightly better with Shelton Benjamin winning and defending the national championship moving forward. So that's my pick. Mike, your pick.
Yeah, I'm going with the other member of the Hurt Syndicate, and that's Bobby Lashley. I mean, like I said earlier, since he came into AEW, they're doing it right with him. They're having him climb the ladder slowly but surely. He was a tag team champion in his first year and a half. Now he's going after the national championship in this gauntlet match. I got to go with Bobby in this one. Would I go with Shelton Benjamin? Yes. For one reason, is that's because Shelton Benjamin, I know, does go and work the Indies, and they have that talk of this belt is going to be defended on the Indies as well. That's the only way I would go with Shelton Benjamin, is because he does go and work the Indies, and he would defend that belt out in different cities for different companies and make this the true national championship that they want to make it to be. But to kind of build some aura around this championship, I think it would be best to keep it in-house for a while. Why not put it on Bobby and then have Shelton beat him for it? Have a kind of inter-team match or whatever. Shelton earns a shot at it. Who knows? I got to go Bobby on this one. I like, you keep the belt in-house for a little bit, build the aura of the belt, and then get it out on the road. Don't start putting it out on the road right away. You got to have AEW build its stamina with this championship first before you can go saying, hey, you win, now go to, bumfuck Iowa and defend it. We're gonna build it here first, and then we'll send it out. So I'm going Bobby.
Phil?
It's one of these two. You're just gonna pick who it is. I'll go Bobby for the sake of it. I feel like you're kind of just telegraphing us who you want it to be with these two as the start of it all. But I mean, unless there's just like some really big surprise that we are just not seeing come this gauntlet match, it's one of these two, and I just don't see that happening. I just don't feel like there's any kind of timing, like anybody like in certain like the kind of time frame to like just be a big surprise in this match. I just don't see it. Maybe, unless I'm just completely reading something wrong. But we'll see. I'm going Bob. Big Bob.
The next match, no disqualification match for the AEW TNT Championship. If Briscoe loses, he will be forced to join the Don Callis family. After what they had in their backstage promo or last night, rather, I'm going Mark Briscoe. I think to me, I feel like it's a little obvious. I mean, he's talking about representing his family and things like that, and walking out with the TNT Championship. I think it's time. Again, we talk about this in length as well, about them always snatching the rug from underneath, Mark Briscoe whenever he's presented with a big opportunity. His last real big opportunity and win was against MJF, which is major, but it didn't carry him into the next major thing until now. So I think this is a great spot for Mark Briscoe. Again, to Mike's point, I don't see them really giving him another big opportunity or a bigger opportunity, like against Hangman for the world title. I don't see that ever happening. So this is the home run. This is the end goal, I think, with Mark Briscoe. It's either you do it or you don't, and then you move on and you do something else. But I'm going Mark Briscoe. This has to be it for him. I don't know how many more opportunities or how many more times they're going to keep missing the boat with Mark Briscoe. So that's got to be my pick. Phil, your pick.
I'm gonna go Mark. I am. I'm just hesitant.
Don't mark out. It's okay.
Huh? What?
Ignore him. Continue.
Just okay. I'm gonna go Mark, but I'm hesitant on it. I just don't. I don't trust it. But it's just gotta happen. It has to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just realistically do not care about Mark Briscoe anymore, and that is something I do not want.
Yeah.
I don't want to not care about Mark Briscoe.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, I'm going Mark Briscoe as well. It would be I think it would be a dumb move to not go with Mark Briscoe, especially you've given him a few opportunities already and you pulled the rug out from underneath him, putting him in a position that if he loses, he joins the Don Callis family. He wouldn't fit. He would stick out worse than Wardlow stuck out with Adam Cole and that group a year and a half ago. So Mark Briscoe wins. Simple as that.
In a straight up singles match, Darby Allin versus Pac. I mean, we talked a little bit about this earlier. I mean, I don't know. My gut tells me Darby. I mean, Darby is just he's Tony's favorite, I think, in this company, amongst maybe a few other names. will it really affect him if he wins or loses? I don't think so. He's going to be in the same position if he wins or loses this match the week after Full Gear. I really don't think it's going to hurt him in any kind of position that he's currently in or that he will be in the future for Darby Allin. I think Pac needs it more. Really, this is his first or one of his rare outings away from the Death Riders. I mean, he's been hurt. He's been on the shelf a few times. I'm pretty sure he's had like work visa issues and things like that. So he's had a lot of time away from the company, and that's a shame because he's a phenomenal athlete. I mean, again, I talked in length about the conditioning, the shape this man's in. He's a freak of nature. So I think this is Pac's match to win. It's not going to hurt Darby. You can run this back. Again, this is a Dynamite match, so you can run this back on Dynamite. Who knows? But I got to go with Pac here. So, Mike, your pick.
Yeah, I'm going Darby Allin. I am. Like I said earlier, you give him the opportunity to play with toys in a match, he's going to succeed. You stick him in a cage, he's going to go wild. I think he's going to win this match. My thing is, and I could agree with you. Yeah, he's been away for a while. Work visas, injury, all that stuff. And this is the one rare time that he's alone. That could honestly hurt him. It could, because he's so used to tagging with somebody, group around him, all that stuff. So I'm going Darby in this one.
Phil?
Yeah, I'm going to go Darby here. I agree with everything in terms of what Mike is saying with the whole cage dogs thing and just him being lost because of because of everybody else just not being able to be out there or whatever. So I just think it's gonna realistically help Darby in the end because of all of that, and Darby just gets to win. I agree with you, Kim, in saying that you can easily just run this back. I mean, Darby doesn't realistically need this, but I just think it's gonna get it.
The next match, a fatal 4-way tag match. The winner of this match chooses a stipulation for their semifinal match in the inaugural AEW Women's World Tag Team Tournament. We have the Babes of Wrath versus the Sisters of Sin versus the Timeless Love Bombs. I don't know. This one's kind of tough. I'm gonna go with the wild card in this. I feel like, and I'll say Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I don't even really know why. That's just the random one to me. That's just a wild card to me. I feel like they're overcomplicating things with they got to choose a stipulation for the semifinal. Why do we need a stipulation for the semifinal? The stipulation is we're in the semifinal. That is the stipulation. Like, you move on in the tournament. Like, we don't need a stipulation on top of that. So
it's so random.
It's just overcomplicating things in what has been so far a decent tournament thus far. So I'm going with the Sisters of Sin. We'll see what happens from there. We'll see what they pick and stipulation. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Mike, your pick.
I'm going with them too. They're my pick. Not only because they are the wild card, but I'm a fan of them. So I'm gonna go with them. If I was them, and hear me out on this. Hear me out on this when it comes to picking the stipulation, okay? Because every stipulation is on the table. The winning team should be smart about this, and the stipulation they pick, handicap match.
Could they do that?
The stipulation, handicap match. You pick one person from your opposing team to be in there, and the other one can't be there. Handicap match.
That would definitely be an interesting twist. That's for
make
sure.
it you want to make it interesting? There you go. Make sure that stipulation is available and that the winning team picks handicap match. You're welcome, Tony.
Wow. I mean, I've never heard of that, but hey, that's definitely different for sure.
Yeah.
Phil?
Call me crazy.
Crazy.
I don't like that I'm even picking this team, but I'm going with Megan and Marina.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
I'm going with them only because I feel like there's going to be something going on between them and Tony and Mina. I do. I think that's just going to go a little bit further than what we got from Blood and Guts.
They're gonna have a
And-
dance off.
Jesus
What?
Christ.
They're gonna have a dance off. You said there's something gonna happen between them. They're gonna have a dance off because of what Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa did last night.
This is not Adam Cole and MJF. This is not what they were doing between that whole entire
That's a good one.
situation.
That's a good one.
This is not what they're doing there. But regardless, there's something going on between those two teams, and I think the heels are just going to get the job done and win that match. So I'm going to go with them.
I forgot to even mention they were in this match. They're the only team in this match that doesn't have a name. It's just Megan Bain and Marina Shafir. So
Yeah,
Weren't
because
they-
it's
I
a makeshift tag team because Penelope got hurt.
Yeah.
No, I thought they had a name. Weren't they
No.
like the mean
Mean Joe Green?
bitches?
No,
No, they
Mean
had
Joe
a
Green?
name.
No.
no,
Not Mean Joe Green, like Mean Bitches or something like that.
no. I've never
No,
heard
They
of it.
have a
Stop.
name. They
No.
have a name. I promise you, they have a name. Give me a second.
No, I don't think they do.
Maybe Penelope and Megan do, but
Yeah. They I'm pretty sure.
Oh no,
definitely
I was thinking of Willow and Harley's name. I thought they were calling themselves the Bazers. Never mind.
No.
Fucking don't worry about me. I'm good.
So anyway,
Not
they're the
good,
only
but good.
nameless team in this match. Anyways, moving on. No holds barred match. John Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. I'm going Kyle O'Reilly. They're going with this. I don't know, this idea that Kyle O'Reilly just has John Moxley's number. I think it would make, based off what we saw on Wednesday night and based off what we saw last week with the conclusion to the men's Blood and Guts. I feel like this would make more sense if this wasn't a no holds barred match, but a submission match. That would make more sense to me. I'm just saying because they're going with the whole
had the
ankle lock
submissions to
stuff
do
like
it
that.
too. The
Thank
bulldog
you.
choke,
See what I mean? Like
bulldog choke, and the ankle.
you're
lock.
making sense, and you can't make sense with this company. It's a cardinal sin. Anyways, I'm going with Kyle O'Reilly. I think that's a smart decision to go with. Are they
The
pushing
whole thing
O'Reilly
about
to
Moxley
something?
is quitting.
Maybe.
You're right.
Here's what's funny. Here's what's funny too. O'Reilly kind of has his own. Maybe that's just because he's with the conglomeration. I don't know, but he kind of has his own thing going. Like Roderick is the only one that's still coming out with Paragon on the Titan.
Yeah.
O'Reilly doesn't even have that. It just says Kyle O'Reilly. Like they've even separated him away from Roderick. So I don't know. Are they pushing him to something bigger? I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to think that far ahead. But for this match, I'm going to go with O'Reilly. Mike, your pick.
I'm going John Moxley.
Okay.
I think you. I just again I don't see this being a significant win for Moxley or a significant loss for Moxley to anything to happen to him. I don't. And they're hyping up Kyle O'Reilly more than, again, he has the talent. He does. I don't want to take anything away, but they're hyping him up so much to where even after this match, I don't see any opportunities of them doing much of anything fucking with him after this. I think it's just better to go with John Moxley. So I'm going Mox.
Phil?
This is so short term, but I mean, it's not going to mean anything in the long run, like Mike said. But if you're doing something more long term with John Moxley than you are with Kyle O'Reilly, so I'm going with Kyle O'Reilly because it helps out the John Moxley thing with the whole loss situation and him quitting. So I'm just going to go Kyle there, but it's not going to mean anything for Kyle in the long run. I mean, it's a good little run for him right now. It is. And, at least they're kind of giving him a little bit of something to work with. And him in a singles capacity has honestly been something that we haven't seen since Pandemic NXT, I feel. Because he was doing stuff with the NXT Championship at the time.
Yeah.
And it was with Adam Cole. And from what I remember, that was honestly something, one of the bright spots in NXT for the pandemic thing. But that's it. That's all it is right now. And the Moxley story continues. That's it.
Last but certainly not least, in what I would think would be the main event of this particular event, Hangman Adam Page is putting on his World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Samoa Joe inside of a steel cage. I think this one is easily a no-brainer. Hangman Adam Page retains. Where do we go from here? I don't know. I mean, I've heard whispers of MJF returning. We could do that. MJF could easily attack him after this match, and we continue that storyline because we never really got the conclusion of that originally. So we could pick up where we left off with them, and this time with the stakes higher for the World Heavyweight Championship. So definitely have to see there. But I'm going with Hangman Adam Page. Phil, your pick.
Hangman Adam Page to retain. Yeah, I just think it makes the most sense here. Samoa Joe, he's done a fantastic job with this. They've done an incredible job at him just becoming that, heel that I feel like he's just in a better role in. I honestly would just like to see a world where he is kind of just on his own and outside of the ops and everything. Because I think kind of, in my opinion, I think the ops are kind of just done. I think it kind of just run its course a little bit. I just don't realistically see much going for them after this. I mean, you can try, and AEW is definitely a company where they just try to do things a little bit too long at times. But I just think it's kind of just done and over with, and I want to see Joe on a more singles capacity moving forward.
Mike?
I'm going Samoa Joe. I'm going Samoa Joe. I've talked about this for the longest time, and I said the perfect situation for MJF to cash in his contract, because remember, he still has that contract.
He does.
Perfect situation is against Samoa Joe, the guy that beat him for the world title when he held it and lost it at World's End in 2023. Samoa Joe walks out with the world championship, and MJF makes his return at Full Gear and challenges him at World's End.
We will definitely have to see in due time. But, gentlemen, as far as this show goes, that is all I got for you for tonight on The Boom. And that is all I got for you for 11/20/2025. Now it is time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, PhilMet_. You guys can also follow me on Twitch there too. I'm definitely more of just the other platforms that I mentioned earlier. I will be doing some more long form content on the YouTube channel. I just gotta realistically find some time with crazy, family schedulings in order to do that. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now in terms of AEW. So AEW content's definitely in the works for me over there. And if you want to just keep in lock with what I'm doing, X is definitely the best place to do it. So there's my socials at the bottom.
Mike?
Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, MinimumLike714 is where you can find me. Come join me starting tomorrow. I will be going live on TikTok. Live Fest starts. So I'm taking my crack at Live Fest as a gaming, because I'm under the gaming category. So come join me. I'm going to start going live tomorrow. Cam was in my live the other night. I was playing Fortnite. Almost got a win, too. Fuck, man. So close. But anyways, come join me on that. And on Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, over 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch.tv/The Huddle Podcast, YouTube.com/@The Huddle Pod. Me and Cam will be live running down the rest of week 12 in the NFL and talk about everything that happens in college football on Saturday. And then Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join me and John as we run down week 12 of the NFL and get you guys ready for week 14 of college football. And then Monday night with Cam on the table spot right here on River City Radio and Off the Top Media. Huddle Hub, also go join us on X and TikTok at the Huddle Pod.
Make sure to keep up with these two gentlemen and everything they've got going on in their content creation spaces. As for me, go ahead.
We also got 6 new videos up over on the Huddle Hub's TikTok and YouTube right now. So go check them out.
Absolutely. Definitely go check those out. As for moi, you could definitely check me out I am most active on TikTok at Cam's Wrestling Corner, posting about news and of course my wrestling opinion. That is sometimes popular or sometimes not popular. Either way, follow and like. And of course, as terms of the network, you'll find me right here every single Wednesday night with these two gentlemen after AEW Dynamite, covering AEW Dynamite on the Boom, and on Monday nights with me and Metalcore Mike after Monday Night Raw on the Table Spot, and then of course Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Covering some college football and of course the NFL. As I always say at the end of every stream, love and appreciate all you guys come by and checking out the stream. Love, peace, and prosperity, and we are out.